In today's Leeds news, Meslier's new club, games moved for TV, further Zion Suzuki twist, still interest in Zetterstrom, Longstaff pre-season prep, and rumour mill story on Anan Khalaili. Wednesday the 8th of July, Jeer here at the Leeds View with your Leeds United news. Hope your week is going well so far. There's a bit of stuff to get stuck into today, but I'm going to be very honest up front with everyone because we are in that mental part of this summer where every person and his ma's being linked with a move to Leeds United. There is a Zion Suzuki story, and I'm going to give you all of the detail on this, all of the sources, credibility, what's been said, because some interesting stuff has come out this morning on that, and it's not necessarily a home run for Leeds, but I will give you all the full detail. I'm not going to clickbait you. I'll tell you what's been said, where it's come from, and we'll have a chat about it then. But we'll start off today with the news around Illan Meslier finding a brand new football club. He is gone from Leeds United, but it is still worth talking about because this one was a bit of a surprise to me and probably everybody else. For those who haven't seen it, former Leeds United goalkeeper Illan Meslier has a brand new club, and he hasn't had to travel very far from Leeds to find it. Fabrizio Romano confirmed the details this morning on X. The former Leeds number 1 Illan Meslier has signed a deal with Arsenal to become their number 2 goalkeeper for the upcoming season. Arsenal are said to want cover for David Raya. Illan Meslier ticks the box in terms of the profile that they want. And it's an interesting one. At 26 years of age, that Illan Meslier has essentially decided to go to Arsenal as a number 2 rather than try and kickstart his career moving somewhere as a number 1. He'll likely get starts in cup matches. He might even get a couple of European appearances if they qualify through their group earlier, through the group stages of it quite early. But it is a surprise for me. I thought he would try and back himself and go and play as a first team goalkeeper. Arsenal fans are not happy about this one at all. They can't believe that Arsenal signed a backup number 2 or competition for David Raya, who couldn't get into the Leeds United squad last season. Kepa Azpilicueta has asked to leave Arsenal, and that's where Meslier slips in and fills that gap for them. Let's move on and talk about everyone's second favourite topic, and that's games being moved for TV. For everyone who hates the transfer window and hates transfer stories, there's a lovely, pleasant story, and that's your favourite topic and the time of the month. Leeds United games being moved for television, and we've got a couple. The Premier League have confirmed that Leeds will have 2 matches already now moved for television. The fixtures are against Brentford and Newcastle. Both have been shifted now as a result of being selected for television. The Brentford game, Leeds' second game of the season, first home match, has been moved to 2 p.m. on Sunday, August 30th, and that has been picked up by Sky. What's interesting about this one is it's the final day of the Leeds Festival, so Leeds will be likely chocked on hotels, likely an expensive city, and also Leeds tend to normally look for that weekend away from home to cater for people that will be at the festival and not going to football matches. So that'll be a busy day in Leeds. The second one that has been moved, and this has a huge caveat attached to it, the Newcastle game has been moved to 8 p.m. on Monday, September 14th. The first game that Leeds will play under the floodlights at Elland Road. However, there is a huge caveat on this one. If Leeds or Newcastle, or both of them, qualify to the third round of the League Cup and they are drawn against a Champions League side, that game will be moved again, and it will be moved to 12:30 on Saturday, September 12th instead. So we're already at that stage where games are being moved and could be moved again, and we haven't even gotten into the start of the season yet. So I don't remember when fixture list just came out. You could plan your entire calendar around the games, and that was it. But yeah, we're all over the place right now. On the plus side, Leeds games against Nottingham Forest, which is away from home, and Brighton away from home, will remain untouched, at least for now. We'll see where that one goes. Let's talk about Zion Suzuki and give you the detail on this. So again, full transparency on this. I'm going to give you everything that's been said. I've spoken to Andrea Russo in Italy. We've had to translate a couple of articles and conversations that have happened in Italy in order to get the detail on this. So to start off with this, Nicola Shearer has been running with this story. Nicola Shearer, not credible at all, clickbait merchant, and I'll tell you why. Because he said Leeds had agreed a deal with Suzuki, then he went backwards from agreeing a deal to Leeds are interested in Suzuki, to then Suzuki had rejected a deal from Leeds So has he rejected the deal from Leeds that he already agreed to? Is it a different deal? Are Leeds still interested? Where was it? Discount what he has been saying completely. We thought that this was done, dusted and dead then, but that might not be the case. This morning, Italian journalist Marco Contero has put out a tweet saying Leeds is strong on Zion Suzuki from Parma. Short, sweet, but an Italian journalist, so blah, 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 we know the deal. I spoke to Andrea Russo this morning, who is not far from Parma, and he said that Contero is probably one of the more credible journalists in Italy. And in fact, Contero was the journalist who broke the story about Yacobiol coming to Leeds United. Anyone else tells you that, it started here, by the way, just so you know. There's more on this though as well, because on Fabrizio Romano's YouTube channel, Mario Moretto was speaking, and he also said that Leeds still have interest in Zion Suzuki. And as much as people don't like Fabrizio Romano, don't like his style, don't like what he does, Moretto is his right-hand man, and they don't tend to put out claims or stories or tweets unless there is at least interest in the player. They don't call Fabrizio Romano a tap-in merchant for no reason, so there is important context there. So what exactly did Moretto say? Well, he was speaking on Fabrizio Romano's YouTube channel. Andrea has translated this for us, thankfully, and he said this. As of today, I have no feedback on a supposed interest of Juventus in Suzuki. I have no feedback on an inquiry by Juve with Parma, and I want to underline to you again that on Suzuki, a goalkeeper who did really well at the World Cup, my sources keep telling me that in the end, Suzuki might end up in the Premier League. There are several Premier League clubs that want him and are pressing Parma. But Parma, as of now, have no rush to sell Suzuki because they know offers are there, and they know that the more that they wait, the more offers will pile on and increase the economic value. As of today, I would say Suzuki is more headed towards the Premier League. It is true that Leeds have interest, and so are many other Premier League clubs still not mentioned in the discussion. Now, we talk on this channel an awful lot about credibility. We do the transfer talk at the weekends with credibility scores. We have rumour mill, pinch of salt, all that stuff to kind of give you the insight of whether you should believe a story or not. This is now coming from two very credible sources on Zion Suzuki. However, and there is a big however on this, Emiliano Martinez's representatives are in Italy today, have been pictured. There's some stories on Martinez moving to Juventus this summer, and they're trying to strike a deal to get that done. If that happens, and that opens the door for Aston Villa to move for Zion Suzuki, and they're expected to make that move. Why that's important from this perspective is Parma want this situation, because if they get an offer from Aston Villa, they believe other clubs will start bidding. As Moretto said, that will help the economic value from their perspective. We know Leeds won't get involved in a bidding war on the player, but it does show that there is likely to be movement very soon on Zion Suzuki. Now, again, the other part to this, or the wrinkle in this, is Aston Villa can offer him Premier League and Champions League football next season, and will likely have the money to bid high to bring him in. So as of right now, Leeds are interested. I think we can confirm there is some level of interest, and Leeds definitely appear to have a short list of goalkeepers should the Karl Darlow situation not iron itself out in Leeds' favour. Suzuki might be one of them. Still no news on a formal move, but we are now getting some detail from more credible sources on this. But while we're talking about goalkeepers, let's talk about our third goalkeeper of today, and that is Jacob Zetterstrom. Now, this is slightly more rumour mill than the other ones, but there is a new update on Jacob Zetterstrom this morning, and it's worth covering off in a little bit of details, because again, there could be some knock-on moves here that are starting to line things up. FLW Football League World are reporting today that Derby are preparing for bids this summer on Jacob Zetterstrom, and Leeds United have been linked as an interested party, and just an interested party at this stage. Fabrizio Romano confirmed that Leeds, Wolves and Eintracht Frankfurt all have varying levels of interest in Zetterstrom. He's got 1 year left on his deal. Derby are believed to be looking at replacements already for him and are expected to move for Gavin Bazzuno to get that sorted. So Zetterstrom looks like he could be moving this summer, or at least Derby are preparing to move him on this summer. He had a very strong season last season, the championship for Derby County. He had a very good World Cup as well. So this all still seems to look like Leeds United are just getting players lined up in case they have to make a move should Karl Darlow decide not to stay at Leeds United. And we still, as of this morning, checking my phone right now, haven't really gotten an update on that one just yet. So that is still where it is. Jacob Zetterstrom possibly on a short list, but nothing more than that at this stage. Let's talk about Sean Longstaff. Sean Longstaff has been spotted back up at Tyneside ahead of pre-season, but before anyone gets carried away, this is a fitness story and not necessarily a transfer thing. It's not a transfer thing. It's very clearly a training thing. A Newcastle-based football coaching Instagram account has uploaded a photograph of Sean Longstaff training at Whitley Park, which is the under-21 home for Newcastle United. It's close to his family. It's close to where he grew up. Longstaff is said to be using a familiar facility as he gets ready for his preparations to join Leeds United in pre-season training this year, which is expected to start on Monday the 13th. So we should start seeing the players back in and around the place over the next couple of days. Some players, Andy Cousins said, have already been back in for some measurements and some extra work, and we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, getting closer and closer to seeing the players coming back for pre-season. My favourite time of the year. We'll likely see the Leeds training wear and leisure range come out for the new season. If it's anything like Celtic stuff, it should be cracking as well. We'll have details on that as and when they start to come out over the next week or so. But yeah, let's move into rumour mill territory, and as always, take this with a chunky piece of salt. Only the one story this morning, an interesting one, not from an overly credible source, that should be said, but Leeds are mentioned as one of a host of clubs interested in 21-year-old right-footed wingback Anan Khalaili, who currently plays in the Belgian Pro League with Union Saint-Gilloise. He's a big lad, he's 6'4" in height, pretty quick as well, very direct, and he's a very attack-minded wingback. What's interesting about Khalaili is he likes to play as an inverted wingback as well as a right-sided wingback. Leeds don't exactly need cover or competition on that right wingback position. But we'll come back to the inverted stuff in a second. On the player himself, he is very direct, very quick, good ball progression numbers, does the defensive side of the game as well as he does the attacking side of the game. Played 38 league games last season in the Belgian Pro League for Union Saint-Gilloise. He scored 3 goals and he got 5 assists. He also started 8 times in the Champions League last season and scored 3 goals there as well. He wouldn't be a cheap option if Leeds do decide to move for him, or if there's any truth in this story. Make sure I say that. It would be around about £25 million should they decide to look at him. Leeds have been labelled as one of a ton of clubs that are interested in the player at this moment in time. Aston Villa, Brighton and Everton, as well as a host of unnamed clubs, have also been linked with a move for Khalaili. Now, his contract runs till 2028, 6 foot in height, kind of fills that close enough to that gap that Leeds United like to look at. We don't need a right-sided fullback or wing-back, as I've said, but what's interesting about Khalaili is he does operate quite well in a defence that plays a 3 as a wing-back. He does like to play as an inverted left-hand side wing-back where he comes inside, has played there last season at times for Union as well. And if Leeds decided, well, no, Okafor likes to hug the touchline, so if Leeds decide to have a slightly different option there, which they tried to do with James Justin last year, but without the attacking side of the game or so, then maybe Khalaili is an interesting option. But what I would say on this one is the source is not very strong on this, so this is very much in the sub-column back page Leeds United transfer area right now. So take it with a pinch of salt. Folks, that will be it for me today. If you want to check out the interview with Andy Wood, Liam Bennett and Oliver Norman, the Leeds United Academy coaches, on how Leeds United make a professional footballer and the investment that's going into Leeds to try and produce the next Calvin Phillips, Archie Gray or James Milner, you can check that out over here on the side. And if you want to vote for us for the Football Content Awards, QR code is down below along with links in the description. Have a great rest of your day. Stick a like and a subscribe on your way out the door, and I'll talk to you later. See ya.